Let's see if this thing works. We seem to be connected. We seem to be streaming.
Awesome.
If anyone from the chat can confirm that they can hear us and they can see us. Um, we, Hi Chris, can you see and hear what we're doing? Yes. Hello, I'm here with SeaRose. And SeaRose, are you reading the chat by the way? I can take care of it, but if you want to also answer questions in chat or whatever comes up, that can be
Awesome.
good.
Cool. I'll try and get the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So yeah, I'm a really happy guest on the QTM stream. I'm SeaRose. I'm from another queer testing group, Queer Earth Hub. My pronouns are she, her, and yeah, I'm excited to be alongside someone who plays some very good Netrunner. So I'm really interested to see how you read the games and your thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Uh, okay. So hi, hello, Jai. Yeah, this is the first QTM stream ever because I planned to like stream my AMT run sometime in like November. But then I figured out just very late that you needed to ask YouTube for permission to stream like 24 hours before your first stream. So I was like, okay, fuck it, I'm not going to do it. Today we are streaming a game from Fite Club 2024, and it's the Redino987 against testrunning game. These two players are from Get Good, Get Jandies, which is a strange name for a team, which I don't know. I really don't know who these people are, like if they're a testing group, um, or just a team that formed for this event. And then it's a new world either. Um, and everyone knows who these people are. They're terrifying. So the lists are B-1001 Stegodon as a prison versus Arissana. And we can look at the decks for a little bit, because I think the game isn't going to be starting just yet. I should probably keep an eye on Discord. Let me see. Like this. Okay. So the lists. We have Arissana on the right and Asa on the left. So do you want to talk, what deck do you want to start with?
I mean, so yeah, so we were saying before the stream how like I'm really excited to see this matchup. So
Yeah,
to
me
me,
too.
maybe start with the corp because it's just when I was reading it, I was just grinning. Reading usually when
Yeah.
you just go like, oh, it has good value, or like I can see the plays, and I was just grinning. Like it just is a deck of cards that it just say like screw you on them, and I love that.
Same, yeah. So, like, this is a Stegodon deck. Um, Most people have seen what Stegodon can do. You de-res your eyes and then you re-res it for profit. That often goes with Formi Carry. Like, you can de-res Formi Carry, and then you can res it anywhere, and you stack it with Managar Skunkworks to duplicate the Skunkworks trigger. This deck also does something else, though. So you have two Funhouse, and you have one thing, and then you have 3 copies of B-1001. And I've seen a
Right.
deck similar to this one in action. And it's basically sort of a prison deck where you have one remote with B-1001 protected by some piece of ice just to make it harder to trash. And then on your main remote where you score agendas, you have one fun house and one ablative barrier. And what you do is you use the fun house and blue to make the server inaccessible. But then after the runner, when the runner goes and tries to trash the blue, the B-1001, you de-res the ablative. Then they run the funhouse remote again, and you res the ablative, and you install blue again. And that's bullshit. I love it.
I love it. Like it's just I think there's so much there's so much HB efficiency at the moment. Like I think we're all so familiar with seeing like a classic PD. It plays very like straight down the line, and you go like, can I outvalue this? And this deck is just really fun. Like I don't want to necessarily call it jank because it looks pretty well made, but it is the idea that you can be re-resing cards. I guess like Gatekeeper, that like you only usually get that one res. You can do, there's a lot of different lines and a lot of different tricks that I can see that will be really fun.
I agree that there's like a tendency to make HB be like the efficiency faction, and then that kind of just means you're good and you're fast, and there's not much more that is fun about it. But it's good that there are some people who are trying to make fun HB decks.
Yeah, the runner might not think this is fun.
yeah. There's that issue where like the fun is potentially only happening for one player. We'll see. We can ask players whether they had fun when this is over.
So
game seems to be up.
Oh, is the game starting?
Yes, they were waiting for us. And
oh, perfect.
We didn't get a chance to look at the Arissana list. The only thing I think is worth noting, like the main thing worth noting, is that there is double hush in the list. And that's going to be, I think, very, very important because it turns off a lot of the weird things that the corp is trying to do. Okay, I think we're ready to go, right? Yeah, Jai. You can use Hush to keep farming carrier res. So you can blank the Funhouse, you can blank the Ping or the Ablative. My only worry is that like the Hush may not be enough. Hello, Jackmaid. Welcome. We're just about to start, and we are starting now. Okay.
Perfect. Wow. Good luck to both players.
Good luck to both. This is not like these games, since this is an asynchronous tournament, games are untimed. There was like the tournament organizers have asked that people don't play decks that win in 1 hour. So I think the other deck is quite slow, but not that slow. There's someone who from my locals who played a similar deck against me, but it also had grudge work.
Right.
Because then you score the Livagar and the rest grudge work. Something like that.
Okay, so both players have mulliganed, so that's kind of an interesting start. Like you maybe want to be more aggressive as the Ari. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, with inefficient corp starts, there's always the chance of making big early profits with Cuban. I don't know what the game plan is here though. Like I don't know if that's the game plan, trying to make a lot of early money. And you or maybe you just try to draw your hushes very early. Oh
wow.
That's a start. So we're bravadoing through the Gatekeeper. We are breaking the end run, so we're letting Redino get cards, but that's because it's running knows the most important thing here is to deny the Stegodon score.
And trashing the Receiver, like that's a really solid early play as well as getting the Stegodon off the board.
Very strong. These players are playing very, very quickly. Wow. So we're trashing the Gatekeeper because there's a new Urban Art Vernissage immediately being installed.
Yep. Yeah, we want to get rid of that Slap Vandal.
Yeah, you want to, like, even though the Slap Vandal doesn't exactly completely blank the Gatekeeper, actually the Gatekeeper will be doing something on that remote, so it's an interesting play. What is this in server 1? Just Merlin. Okay.
So are we thinking that Marilyn server is going to become the server for like the scoring remote, or the where you're putting the B1000?
We really have no clue what this piece of ice is. Oh,
Yeah.
whoa. So we are trashing another piece of ice. We're committing
Wow.
a lot in terms of I'm going to trash all of my ice in order to trash all of your Trojans, because that slows you down.
Yeah, I love it. It's really aggressive play. I really love to see that.
And the first hash comes down.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know really. I think what you end up doing there depends on the piece of ice you installed. Oh, wow. We are really asking Arissana, you have to use all of your simul chips if you want to be doing anything this game.
Yeah, I love it. It's like calling the bluff, right? It's like, okay, let's go for it. Let's put everything in the bin, and I can write it out better than you can. Like, it's aggressive.
The recursion in Redino's deck, I believe, is only 3 copies of Spin Doctor.
Right.
We have drafters, only 2 drafters, interestingly. We don't have any restore, we don't have any genotyping.
Right.
What? Ooh. We install the card in the remote, and then we overinstall, and then we overinstall.
Huh.
What does this mean?
I have no idea.
In my eyes, this means I am very flooded, and this is a way to get my agendas in the bin.
Yep. And they're just going to spin them back.
Which is like, it's kind of worrisome to me, because like you are trashing your eyes. Oh, there's ablative as recursion as well.
Yeah.
Like it worries me just a little bit, because you are trashing your eyes and you would like to spin them back, so you end up having enough ice in the end.
Right.
But apparently we decided it's very important to stop this flood, which makes sense because HQ is anized. So we got an ablative barrier with this wave. Wave actually quite important here, because you need to get your you need to build a big prison with all of your pieces of ice.
Right.
We have 2 ice remotes now, apart from the wave one. So this could already be it. Like, we could already have the combo assembled. And Hush has been trashed, and we don't have a time chip for it. So running archives, we see a Fimbering and the Gatekeeper entering the bin. So those are not combo. Okay, we have Stegadon.
Yeah.
We got it.
Okay, no. So we're off to the races now.
Like, a lot of people joining, by the way. Hi Kira, hi Krar. Yeah, at this point, the Corp has actually started executing their game plan, and testrunning finally has managed to recur, like to bounce a card with Urban. And the first environmental testing is about to pop.
Yep.
There it is. Lilypad, so we're getting NGD.
Yep. This is good. Which is pretty good, because they spent the early turns really going aggressive and not setting up the board state. So now setting it up is, they've managed to keep enough money to be able to do that.
Okay, we're seeing a Marilyn campaign from HQ. I don't know how often you crash that. Maybe you have enough money. Because the corp is kind of poor right now. But you also know, I think we saw that the card in HQ is a fully operational.
Okay, yeah.
So that should allow the corp to bounce back in tempo a fair bit.
Yep.
And yeah, we install and we click for a credit and we flop. Okay, just making money. Is this an agenda?
do we think, I'm just looking at like the board state of where they keep putting like the slap vandals. Is that, do you think, completely arbitrary just to get the urban art vernissage value, or do you think like there's some thought going into like what ice the corp doesn't want to trash?
I think you most likely want to put stuff on these remotes because the ice that is there, like I don't know what testrunning is thinking about specifically, but it will probably be best to like put left vandal on the remotes because the ice that is there is specifically there because you have a combo that is quite positional. Like you need the ice to be on a specific server, and sometimes in a specific order. So if you make them trash that, you can help disrupt the combo. But this one is in R&D. Okay.
Yeah, that's what they did that before. They did R&D and then they did server 3, and I just thought, yeah, it's an interesting that they're doing that and not server 1.
Testrunning here not using this lap handle to face check the remote, which is interesting. I don't know what face checks are scary. Face checks are scary here. I suppose you kind of don't want to let the corp res ice because then you run into all sorts of stegodon problems.
Yep.
Oh, I think it might make sense to also slap vandal the R&D eyes because maybe you suspect that to be a for me carry.
Okay.
It makes sense as a place to put a for me carry, right?
Yeah. That makes sense. Is there
sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say I haven't got the list in front of me. Is there any like advanceable upgrades, or is server 1 being double advanced?
I think this has to be an agenda.
Yeah.
It has to be an agenda. So I'm expecting this to be an Ikawa.
Yeah.
We have a Fenris. So Fenris could be it's a Quetzal. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Very excited to see it happening. It's always a pleasure when Quetzal gets to be played a little bit. Sadly, it's never been like the way they would want to. But at least as a DJ target, they're very fun.
Yeah, any DJ that's not DJ Steve, I'm happy. It's exciting.
Lou also very fun. We have found the Hush, but we're not using the Hush on the server we're running on. I suppose we are trying to prevent a Formicary from moving. Like I suppose the read here is there's a Formicary in R&D and we don't want it to move.
Yeah.
Jai is saying the funhouse is most likely to be on R&D. Sorry. I think that's possible, but also you want the funhouse on the remote to do the blow thing. So, okay, we're finding the funhouse off of this wave. This wave is a kind of very underwhelming res. You do get 2 credits back off of it, but here you just res Skunkworks, and there's Senikawa. So, this server was surprisingly easy to get into.
Yeah.
I guess it's quite likely that R&D was a Formicary, right? Because if you push an Ikawa through this, to me that reads like you expected it to work because you expected to be able to do Formicary plus Skunkworks.
Right, exactly.
But it was hashed, yeah. So we keep denying the urban. So yeah, we know about one ablative and one funhouse, which both have got to be somewhere. We know now that ablative is active, so this run is already quite risky. You could let the corp get back a Rashida, and that's maybe what's happening here. No DRS on a wave, which could have been an option with the Stegodon. Now the ablative is going to get broken by Quetzal, so that's not an issue. But we install a gatekeeper and we ice RNG. Clearly, I suppose this Arissana is on a conduit wincon. We are kind of worried about a potential conduit, probably.
Yeah.
Just comment on. Go ahead.
It does kind of spread you thin, right? Because you surely want that server 1 to be a bit stronger at this point. because you're behind. I guess it's just regrouping, make sure R&D's locked, like from the corpse point of view.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the game plan is from here. It depends a lot on like how slow Redino is able, like, it's feeling that he's able to go.
Yeah.
Maybe he feels like there's a lot of time to do these things.
Yeah.
Also, like the ablative is going to be able to recover more pieces of ice. Like right now, you can direct the ablative, but we choose not to. Okay. So no duress on this turn. We see a flop in HQ, so that's going to be potentially a very big influx of cash.
Yeah.
Oh, we trash the ablative.
Interesting.
Giving the runner potentially simultaneous trigger, a hash is going to get back. Yeah. Now, this is kind of a weird situation because like neither player is really able to do much. Like I feel like the runner doesn't really have the money you would need to properly threaten centrals. At the same time, the servers don't look really airtight.
Right. And like I guess my impulse looking at this board state if I was the runner would be to try and just run R&D to force some reses just to keep the corpse money down, but maybe there's enough tricks that could be really bad for you. You could get burned.
Oh, well, there's a gatekeeper. I think the gatekeeper propels the corp a lot if you let it fire, but you have slap vandal to prevent it from firing, so like you can prevent. Oh, again we overinstall. I think Jai is trying to help me with the Trojan overinstall. This should be the 6th ice for overinstalling.
Wow. I love that.
And we're getting.
Yeah, no, it's just I think that's really clever play in terms of avoiding that kind of loss aversion. Like it's just going for the right play, even though it doesn't feel good at the time.
We don't have a magnet in this list, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Well, magnet will matter a lot because we have Vernissage out. How many ice in archives? Someone's asking. We have Gatekeeper, Fimbering, Ablative Barrier, Wave, and then a face down. So it's 5, but 1 was recurred by the ablative. We got a Gatekeeper back, so it should be 6. Okay, we hashed a Formi carry. We get to discover this. Defending clearly something that has some value. Here, like, as the runner, you could install Slap Vandal and run through it, but then you risk losing both Trojans.
Right. And they've clearly shown that they're willing to do that. Right.
We're doing math. What kind of math could we be doing? SMC? Or our echelon?
Right.
That's really bad numbers in this specific moment. I think this is going to be a long game. Unless, well, Redino can always draw an Ikawa and be unable to shuffle it back. And that could be a loss at any time.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't fire. Sure. And we just end the run. Okay.
Huh. Why? Interesting you wouldn't get the 2 net damage and have a look at what's in server 5.
I suppose we have something in hand we'll really, really value. Okay, so there was an SMC, but we need just a little bit more cash for it to be helpful.
Yeah.
Oh, and just around. Oh, okay, just installing Cuban, making sure we get our Arissana trigger and maybe getting 2 credits. Oh shit! That's really heavy. Really bad for you as the runner because we can get Rashida back.
Yep.
on the last click. And maybe something else. Oh, but you do have Ika. Okay. So basically,
Okay.
your last year, like the punishment here could be double overinstall here, like install crashing double Trojans. That still
Yeah.
leaves the hash safe.
But that was a lot of value to get into a completely empty server,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, I mean, how this go? You can always like just running is main thinking. I think an option here is to move the Ika. Note that nothing on Ika says you have to host it on a sentry, so you can always host it. Yeah, we're hosting it on a gatekeeper on
Yeah.
RNG. So you're telling we're spending 2 credits for this, which is sad,
Yeah.
but you're telling the runner, like telling the corp, you can't trash both.
Yeah. Yeah, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's 2 credits. It was still kind of a sad face check because that was a lot of resources. That was all of the tempo you had spent for that.
Yeah.
And we overinstalled the Fermi carry and installed the remote. So
Wow.
that's an upgrade in server 5. This deck has
Yeah.
2 upgrades. There are 3 Manigarms and 2 Vovo. So that could really be either. Vovo seems more likely to me because like you don't
Yeah.
want to let Manigarm just stay there. Doesn't seem like a good place for it.
No, and I think I'd be happy with a Vovo at the moment. Like, you know, you haven't got a huge amount of credits. Like, that could be a nice little boost to your momentum.
Yeah, I wonder. I guess I will move it to R&D immediately, maybe. Not sure.
Right.
Okay, so Urban Art is finally getting some regular use. That's a relief. We're managing to install an MV testing. 3-4 turns from now, we're guaranteed to have some money, which sounds like a lot. But like, I don't think the game is progressing that fast, so maybe that's okay.
Yeah, yeah. And they've got their cycling Trojans. Like, they know what they've got programs to do the tricks with. Every time I've ever played with environmental testing, I've always felt very sad, but I think they know what they're doing.
This game is going to be very slow because we have a pinhole on the regolith here.
Yeah.
But maybe there is a Formi carry here? You could have a Formi carry too. No, not Formi carry.
Interesting. Interesting. So just getting rid of the money, like, and not looking at what's in server 5.
Okay, installing 2 things in server 1, and we still have enough. So I suppose an agenda is likely to have been run at this point, and server 1 is a nice place to put it.
Yeah.
So that could be a thing that's happening. Fully up kind of enables us to maybe score it safely. I could see a Luminal being here or another Stegodon.
Right. Right. And the runner's down to 0 credits. There's a bit of a window here, but they can still do shaper tricks and get in potentially. Do you think?
I think the main question is, can environmental testing be popped this turn? And the first simul ship will be helpful for that, but I don't know if... Oh yeah, we do have that. So very easy to pop environmental testing. We can just run server 1 maybe.
Yeah.
And have the money to steal an Ikawa, but you also need to pay for a Manigarm. It's kind of just running archives.
Okay.
Installing Cuban. It looks like we're not going to contest.
Right. Which, if it is a Luminal, is great news for the corp, right?
Yeah, Luminal will be fine. Like you have secured the 3 points at minimal cost. Oh, it's Arishana. Okay. Now we're supposed to draw into some agendas, I guess. So still 2 farming carries out. 2 fun houses out. 1 is an RNG. A ping somewhere.
I don't know about you. Oh, interesting. Overinstalling. I was going to say,
Ooh.
like, popping a Rashida with no ice on HQ would make me very nervous.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we are again overinstalling. Same trick as earlier. Again with the spin doctor out.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
that's an agenda they put in the bin, you think, that they're going to spin back?
I think that's certainly what happened. Again,
Yeah.
kind of sad to have all of these eyes in archives and have to spin back agendas. You would
Right.
ideally like to score agendas more consistently so you can spin eyes back. I can see why someone will play Drudgework. Yes.
Right.
Or attitude adjustment. Because actually you do need to put things, agendas back some way, some other way so you can spin back your eyes and your assets. Also, like 2 blue, we're spinning back Gatekeeper and an unseen card. That means that B-1001 is not being recurred.
Yeah,
And that's
interesting.
worrisome. Like, that's supposed to be part of your win condition. I guess we have ablative somewhere, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, we are challenging the remote.
Interesting.
After second wait.
Yeah. That's like a worrying short sentence.
Jai says, just realized Redino used the click to overinstall instead of the Aza ability. That's because you can't overinstall with an agenda with Aza. So you had to spend a click.
Oh, interesting. Right.
Just one advancement. What do you do with one advancement, by the way? Like, there's nothing, there's no 4-2, right? You only have, well, that's Vitruvius with one counter.
Is there anything? I've not got the list in front of me. There's no like NGOs or anything.
No. We only have our agenda suit, and I guess the thing that makes the most sense would be no very advanced Vitruvius, which is kind of brave.
Yeah.
Okay, we are simul chipping a hush onto this piece of ice before it's rest.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Letting the Cuban go. We are more attached to the Cuban than to the Parisian. That's it. Here we have a wave. It's obviously going to fire because the Buzzsaw is there. Realizing his concourse, I suppose forming carry is somewhat likely.
Yeah.
Oh no, we just got, and it's a luminal. We
wow.
We had pre-advanced the luminal. It feels like Redino was kind of confident of his ability to push this, which again suggests to me that maybe this piece of ice on server 1 is a forming carry.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen super often that you would install the forming carry on the same server as the Managarm, but I guess that's the point. Like, it's kind of unlikely.
Yeah.
As a thing, and so it's kind of a bluff of some sort.
Yeah. Do you think the putting an advancement on Luminal, do you think there was something specific they had in mind for getting the extra click later? Like, because it's showing your hand quite a lot.
Yeah, I think it's just I'm very safe. I feel like I'm super confident. Oh, it's a Vitruvius still.
Wow.
I think the idea there was I feel very safe in my ability to score this, so I might as well spend the click now rather than later. It's really not necessary with Luminal because you also get a lot of clicks after you score it, but sometimes you might as well.
Oh, well, good game. Like, I thought that Arissana did so well at putting the pressure on.
Yeah, this was a very good game. Azad denied Urban Out triggers very, very intensely. Very well played on both sides. Also played very, very quickly. Like, this was a 16-turn game with very interesting and complex interactions, and it's been 26 minutes. That was very, very quickly played. I think, yeah,
a great game, and I think like I think it's an interesting matchup in the, like we were saying about the, maybe wanting Drudgeworks or something to spin back ice and agendas.
Yeah,
but
I think there's a lot of optimization you can do.
Yeah, you don't necessarily build this deck with that you're going to trash a bunch of ice in mind, maybe, right?
Mm-hmm. Against some matchups, yes. Also,
Yeah.
there's like one thing that isn't there, and I think could be explored, is biotic labor for scoring your Stegodon from hand. So you
Yeah.
can kind of guarantee it a little more
Yeah.
easily. Also, Worried Tracker to protect your B-1001
Yeah.
is a thing some mean people have done to me. Um, and yeah, there's hash. This hash being very, very, very important.
Yeah.
Um, and as Just Running is saying, you kind of have to guess where the ice is because a lot of it you cannot really blank. Like you can't afford to blank after it's rest. You have to
Right.
blank ablative and sometimes wave and sometimes forming carry before you get to see what they are. So very
Yeah.
complicated to navigate. A lot of guessing that doesn't happen. A lot of tracking cards that has to happen. Very tricky to play.
Yeah, and I think really well done by the runner to call the right cards to put Hush on. Like I think that was really well done.
Mhm. Chris, is this the first match for this team, or do we already have results? I think Jack made versus. There was one match played already yesterday, but I don't think that I know the results. But I think Jack made is in the chat and can answer your question. Um, hmm. Okay, sadly, this is only a one game match because the other side of the match was banned. So we don't have anything more to show you after this. Um, Tomorrow there will be many things happening. We have one match which will be on Baron Vu's YouTube channel at this is Central Europe time, but yeah, 2 p.m. UTC, and then a bunch more things going on, including your match. Do you want to talk about that?
So I've got my match tomorrow. I'm looking forward. It's an interesting thing. I've tried to play. I don't like. I really
Can we
like the
show your
device.
decks, or would you prefer not to?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was going to say like it's. I was really interested in the open deck list thing because I usually
Mm-hmm.
like playing slightly more cheekier lists. Maybe I think the
Where
way
you
to put it.
benefit from the decks being unknown.
Exactly. So
I,
I thought, you know what, like it would be a good opportunity to just work on practicing fundamentals.
mm-hmm.
So as a kind of, it's kind of a joke, um, because it's like I'm not going to play them to their best potential. But I've literally just picked soccer's lists from Worlds.
Uh-huh.
Um,
I can't find them on the spreadsheet. What's your team's name?
so the team name is, I think they've abbreviated it to a long, yeah. So the one that's on the bottom right of the TFTEC is against the Prairie Grid players. Because we have a
Yeah,
student.
I could figure it out because of the
Yeah, yeah,
abbreviation. Okay, so yeah, this is Talka's list just. Um,
yeah. It's literally card for card soccer's list, and I don't think that's a very strategically great thing to do. Like I don't think, like soccer's talked about the lists being great for that environment of where the meta was at. So it's not like I'm like, oh my god, these are the best lists. I want to just play these awesome lists. I think there's things that they can teach me about playing Netrunner a bit better than I usually do. Like I usually prefer a really aggressive ESA list that just
mhm.
takes a whole core
Yeah,
damage.
great write-up, by the way.
Thanks. Right. Yeah. So we did the Christmassy all outs of the ESA, which is also really funny because that is definitely not the best version of that ESA deck. And I've seen people talking about it on GLC, like newer players being like, "Oh, I play this," and I'm like, "Oh, please don't though."
Mhm.
But yeah, I think yeah, it'll be an interesting thing to be playing, particularly that built to last list because it's much slower. I think also having this tournament be untimed will be helpful in not feeling really rushed.
I agree. I very rarely play, like, I try to play corps that kind of win fast in
Yeah,
tournaments because I tend to get very worried about timers. Like, I think losing to time is one of the most frustrating things that can happen in a runner tournaments. And
exactly.
or even just having to rush, like having to play very quickly. When you're like against a Mari Glacier and you get 4 points early, you have to um, like really play quickly for the rest of the game for 15, 20 more minutes because maybe the agendas are going to not show up.
Yeah.
That can be very frustrating. And having some on time games is honestly going to be a very big relief.
Yeah, so I think it'll be a fun change of pace. Like the amount of tournament games I've played where you're playing your second game in about 5 minutes, and I don't think that's super fun.
Yeah, that's
But how
really
about
the
you?
worst thing.
When are you playing? Who are you?
So I'm part of SBT as a team for this event. We've
Mhm.
gotten lucky and we've gotten a bye
Oh, okay, great.
for this round, so which is why I can spend more time commentating. Um,
Yeah.
and
So
you have
you,
also the wars winning runner as well. You have both wars winning lists.
yeah,
Like
right.
that's
So
the
it's
soccer
but it's
list.
like literally, yeah, it's the Hishiko again of like it's really good fundamentals of like play Netrunner,
Yeah.
right? Like it's just
Find the
like do
agendas.
yeah, find the agendas, build up your board state. Like you can contest things early with Boomerang and Banhar. You can build up some multi-access later. Like it's a solid list, which is nice because I think I tend towards lists, particularly runners that go super aggressive. And if you haven't won in the first like section of the game, you
Hmm.
can just get locked out. You can just be like,
Yeah,
okay, great.
which is what Eza does sometimes for sure.
Yeah. So have you got your lists prepared? Have you been thinking about what you're gonna run and corp with for the round that you haven't got to borrow?
We have been deck building some absurd things.
Nice.
Um, like SVT is the most sicko collection of players. But for like since we were pretty sure we like when we thought we would have gotten a buy, we just decided to like, we had to submit some decklists to be sure, and we just submitted some very reg things. And I think we're going to look into things again because we have some lists that would be very fun to show off, but we need to balance that with actual competitive viability. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, okay. By the way, Jackmate is telling me he swept Oriatis yesterday. So that should
Uh-huh.
mean that NWE can advance to the next round if I'm correct. That should mean 3 games won. Um, I hope the other two players still play out their last match.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I think we're about ready to wrap this up. Um, so I don't have plans to stream anything tomorrow, but I'm still in time to make plans. I like to find maybe someone who to co-commentate these things with. So anyone feel free to DM me. I suppose you have your own game to worry about.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. I need to practice like not absolutely putting the completely wrong ice on a server
yeah.
and then watching the filter last game just go awfully.
So we
um
have um, Exilox from Virginia Biotech and Iron Fox from Feng. I always forget how it's meant to be pronounced. And it's going to be in the middle of the night for me from me, and something commentated by Baron Wu, and then two whole team matches being streamed still
mm,
happening. So there's also an opportunity for multiple streams going on, and then
yeah, so
Chris
the whole
Dravos
team
versus Mr. Mpakax.
yeah. And then we're doing the two of us are doing a stream on Thursday. Is that
Right.
right?
We have Zian Solomon, who is a teammate of yours, against Axel.
Yep. Okay.
Hello, Axel.
So yeah, that'll be that. I think that'll be a really fun match. I like in advance. I'll say it at the time when we do stream as well. Like Zach's a teammate from our local meta,
Mhm.
and he's wonderful. So I might be just entirely biased.
I think
So,
it's going to be very fun to have you be
yeah.
like, oh my god, please run HQ.
Yeah, exactly. just shouting all the things that I would want to shout at Zach in real life, but not have Zach reply like with intelligent reasons that he's not doing that, because obviously he won't be able to speak because he's in a game. So it sounds perfect for me.
Okay, so I am going to shut down the stream now. Sorry to chat. This is my first time doing this. I wasn't able to follow that much. Also because the game was being played very, very fast and there were so many things happening. And yeah, we'll
thanks
see
for having me on the stream. It was really fun.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. And we're going to be together here again on Thursday, and maybe there are going to be streams in between. We don't know yet. Keep following the calendar. I posted the link in there are links in the Fite Club Discord, but also I posted a link in the GLT somewhere, and you could be able to find it by searching. Yeah. Okay. Goodbye, everyone.